What's going on, my YouTube traders? Welcome to this week's watch list review with me, TradeLikeGates. Today I'm going to be breaking down my entire watch list plan for tomorrow and then talk about some stocks that have potential for the rest of this week. So number one will be Netflix. This makes the watch list without a doubt tomorrow. You should know the deal here. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. A lot of consolidation leading up to the earnings report. Got the earnings report drop, held 620 as a support, broke out of the range into new all-time highs, and then we had a continuation towards the end of the week. So all that we're looking for is still a continuation into the all-time highs. Yes, it may feel overdone. Yes, it may feel overextended. Yes, it may be due for a pullback. But listen, as day traders, we are just here to trade the trend, trade the momentum. So if we get a new high made, there's still profit to be made on the top side, to the top side rather. Otherwise, if it pulls back, I'm not super interested in a short position on this. I would actually kind of welcome a pullback. I'd like to see this range here, the top side of this range, validate as a support. So either a pullback to 650 or a pullback to 640 would be welcome at the early part of the week, so we can play it for a reversal back up. Otherwise, I'm just looking for a break of $667 to the top side. Why not 666? Well, because I don't like that number. So I'll just go with a 667. Break of 667, that's what we're looking for a new all-time high to be made on Netflix. Number two, Tesla. Same deal. Pretty much the same deal. Already reported earnings, broke over the $900 whole number, pushed up into new all-time highs. Just looking for a continuation trade on this. I'd like to see it hold 900 as a support though. At the very lowest, 890 validate as support. But so long as it's over 900, I'm bullish on it. I want to see it break 910 for the continuation play to the top side. Very simple, very easy analysis on those two. And I'll give you one more. Same thing, JPM, right? Already reported the earnings, is pushing up after earnings, which is always a good sign. At the all-time highs, resistance placed here at 172, looking for a break of 172. Sometimes analysis doesn't have to be so intricate and detailed and you know, over the top. Simplicity works. So Netflix, Tesla, JPM, all continuation ideas over the all-time highs. The next one that will be on the watch list is AFRM. This one's a little bit tricky because it is trading at the all-time highs, but it's also trading within this pennant pattern right here that we see. So there's a few different ways that we could trade this. Ideally, I'd like to see it open up right under 160 so that we can play the break of 160 or play the break of 161 for the move into the all-time highs. But since it's trading within the pattern, and if we don't get that gap up, open up under 160, we can look at taking an earlier entry on this for the run up to 160 or 161. So if we open flat, I might look at taking a long position over 156 or 157, maybe even 158. It's going to depend on where this is trading at in the morning. But the most ideal scenario is that AFRM opens up just under 160 or under 161, and we can just play that break and run. All right, but it looks good for a pennant breakout. By the way, this is also an all-time high trade. Long idea over 161, but keep in mind that that trigger level may change depending on where this stock opens up at. The next one on the watch list will be Starbucks, SBUX. Earnings report is upcoming this week. We have resistance placed there, and most recently here, all at 115. A break of 115, I think, sends this up to 117. It would confirm that it is reclaiming that 50 EMA after bouncing off of the 200 EMA. So if we get a break of 115, I think we can make a push towards 117. That's going to be your first resistance overhead. And then there's a gap from 117 up to about 118.5 or so. All right, so SBUX just looking for the break of 115. So that is it. Quick recap. Netflix, we're looking for a break of 667. Tesla, we're looking for a break of 910. JPM, we're looking for a break of 172. SBUX looking for the break of 115. And then AFRM looking for the break of 160 or 161. But that trigger level may change in the morning depending on where this opens. Now, let's talk about some side charts to keep alerts set on. These are two setups that are not in play right now, but could be in play and likely will be in play later on. The first one I want to talk about is PLTR. So it had a most recent sell-off, met support at the 200 EMA, naturally, resistance at the 50. Support at the 200, resistance at the 50. And it's been meeting a lot of resistance here at that 50 EMA. So it's unable to break that 50 EMA, also unable to break that $25 psychological level. So it's got a little bit of room from where we're currently trading at. It's got a little bit of room to push back up to 25 before we can decide to put this on the watch list. But in the event that this does push up to 25, closes just under, right at, or just over 25, this makes the watch list later on this week, if that's the case, for the run up, for the recovery from this sell-off. All right. Otherwise, if it rejects that 50 EMA and continues to reject 25 and pulls back, there's no trade here. But in the event that it does creep up towards 25, we'll be adding that one to the watch list later this week. All right, so keep your alert set on PLTR at 25. The other one is going to be Snapchat. Big drop down. That's what we call a fat gap, PHAT. It's actually a double gap, which is pretty wild. So we've got a double gap here from 70 down to 63, 64. We'll just call it 64, make it even. And then the gap even extends further beyond that 64 level down to 61. So Snapchat fell off of the earnings report. It's not really in play right here over 61. But later on in the future, it could be in play. So I want you to keep your alerts set at $61 in the event that this recovers. I doubt that it's going to be this week. It may not even be next week. It may not even be in the next month. But that gap is going to be something significant that could come in play later on. So keep your alerts set at $61. All right, we're going to talk about three more here that will likely make the watch list after they report earnings. Number one is Facebook. This is going to start us off with an earnings report tomorrow afternoon. All right, so I've got alerts set at $330 because this fell on earnings or in sympathy with Snapchat earnings. All right, so keep your alerts set at 330. This may get a reversal off that 200 EMA once more for the push up through 330 and a run in anticipation of the earnings report. Otherwise, if we don't get that move, if we don't get a break of 330, there's no trade here. We'll just play it on Tuesday after Facebook reports earnings. If we get a gap up, maybe even if we get a gap down. Number two is going to be Apple. This one actually has a little bit of time before the earnings report. Nice run up here to reclaim that 50 EMA, but since it has ran up, it has basically done nothing except for build a range, which is something that we like to trade. So support is going to be placed at $148. Your resistance is going to be placed at $150. That's your range. All right, so a break of 148, we could probably look to take a short position on this, in all honesty. But me, being the long bias trader, I'd rather just let it do its thing, wait for a break of 150 if we get it before the earnings report, and play it over 150. Otherwise, if there's no break of 150 prior to the earnings report, then we'll just play it after Apple reports earnings. The last one that I want to add to the watch list for a trade later on this week, or probably after the earnings report, is going to be AMD. The reason why I say after the earnings report is because, well, AMD has already been running, right? We've been trading this on the way up ever since it held 100 as a support. So nice moves up on AMD. It met resistance near the all-time highs, which is 122.5. This actually rejected at 122. Earnings reports coming up. This might be a case of where, the stock runs in anticipation of earnings, and it's an event where they buy the rumor and then sell the news, right? So for AMD, just keep your alerts set at 122 or 122.5 in case this still decides to go prior to the earnings report. But if it doesn't, no trade here, no harm, no foul. We'll just play it afterwards. All right, so 2 to keep your alerts set on for the rest of this week are going to be PLTR and Snapchat, and then 3 to watch for an after earnings play will be AMD, Apple, and Facebook. Big week for earnings this week. If you're holding any positions on those names, if you're swing trading them, just be mindful. Earnings is coming up, so be ready for a larger move in either direction. It could happen. Okay, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Press the like button if you're ready to make some money this week. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you all in chat. My Discord server link is in the description. The server right now is currently closed to new members as I work on getting the current members up to speed with how we trade and how we do things. My Discord server is very different from a lot of others, where I teach a streamlined system of trading. I don't know of any other Discord servers that are more cohesive, but it's very important to me, and it's very important to the rest of the team, that I get these newer members trained up first before allowing another batch of new members to join the server. All right, so I will let you all know in the announcements channel of the Discord server when I open up the server and start allowing new people in. It won't be long, I promise. Just hang tight and keep an eye out for that announcement. All right, take care. Enjoy your Sunday. Make some money tomorrow. Good luck. And I will see you all in chat.